Morning students, how are you all? Hope you all are fine and safe at your home. So students, this is your mathematics class for class 9th, chapter 7. Today we are going to start a new chapter, chapter 7, chapter name triangles. This is our lecture 1 for triangles. So students, topic to be covered are first introduction. In introduction, we will recall some your previous knowledge related to triangle, basic congruency of triangle, criteria for congruency of triangle. After this, axiom 7.1 and theorem 7.1. Now you know what is the difference between axiom and theorem, what is axiom and what is theorem, because of your previous chapter. So students, now we are going to start our lecture. So students, we start our lecture with the name of chapter, triangle. So what is a triangle? We have different definitions, so many different definitions of triangle. So we will start with the first definition. A plane figure bounded by three line segments in a plane is called a triangle. I am using line segment because these three are the line segment because they have two end points. Or similarly, another definition, a plane figure bounded by three lines in a plane is called a triangle. They are three lines because they don't have any end points. We can reduce them and they are cutting each other at one point. So they both definitions are correct and they are for triangle. We can use this definition with one more different way, that area area bounded between three line segments is also we called as triangle, and area bounded between three lines in a plane is also as triangle. So we can use all these definition. And the once again, a plane figure bounded by three lines or three line segment in a plane is called a triangle. So students, now switch on the parts of a triangle or elements of triangle. Basically, we have 6 elements of a triangle. What they have? 6 out of 6. We have 3 sides. Side AB, side BC, side AC. These are 3 sides of a triangle. AB, BC or AC. And next 3 elements are 3 angles. Angle A, angle B and angle C. These are 6 elements, 3 sides and 3 angles of a triangle. But we have 3 more elements in it. What they are? 3 vertices. Vertex A, vertex B, vertex C. So they all are elements of a triangle. 3 vertex, 3 angles, 3 sides. So this is your complete triangle. Next is types of triangle. Types of triangle are based on 2 points, sides and angles. So first of all, we will start our lecture with the types of triangle on the basis of sides. On the basis of sides, we have 3 different type of triangle. I know you know all these 3 triangles already. So now we have to only recall all these type of triangles. What is scalene triangle? Scalene triangle are those triangle in which all sides are different. All means all 3 sides of a triangle are different. Then we call it as scalene triangle. What is isosceles triangle? Isosceles triangle are those triangle in which 2 sides of a triangle, it means out of 3, 2 sides of a triangle are equal to each other. What is equilateral triangle? Equilateral triangle are those triangle in which all 3 sides of a triangle are equal to each other. So we call it as equilateral triangle. First, a scalene in which all 3 sides are different. Isosceles in which 2 sides are equal to each other, and equilateral in which 3 sides are equal to each other. After this, we will go with types of triangle on the basis of angles. On the basis of angle. First is acute angled triangle. Acute angled triangle. Acute angles are those angles which are less than 90 degree. So, in which triangle angles are less than 90 degree, we call it as acute angled triangle. Right angled triangle, when in a triangle one angle is 90 degree, it means a right angle. We call it as right angled triangle. Obtuse angled triangle. What do you mean by obtuse? Obtuse angles are those angles which are more than 90 degree. So, in which triangle we have one obtuse angle, then we called it as obtuse angled triangle. I said one obtuse angle. Can it is possible in a triangle more than one obtuse angle? If we will take two obtuse angle, then it is possible to make a diagram or make a such triangle. So try once. It is not possible. When we will use an obtuse angle in a triangle, it is only one obtuse angle is possible. So we called it as obtuse angled triangle. Next is congruency of line segment. Congruency of line segment is when two line segments are congruent if and only if two line segments are congruent if and only if their length are equal. Their lengths are equal. If we will take an example of these two line segments, they are congruent to each other or not. So if the measurement of this or length of this line segment is equal to the length of this line segment, then they are congruent to each other. It means two line segments are congruent if and only if their length are equal. Two line segments or vice versa. If it is given already that these two line segments are congruent, then definitely we can say that the length of these two sides are equal. So we call it as vice versa also. If we have one thing that two line segments are congruent, they are congruent if and only if when their length are equal. Congruent होंगी when length will be equal. If length is equal, then definitely they are congruent. So this is the congruency of triangle. Sorry, line segment. Next one is congruency of angles. Congruency of angles. Two angles are congruent if and only if their measurement are equal. We have one angle as BAC and another one is EDF. If the measurement of angle A and the measurement of the angle D are equal to each other, then definitely they are congruent to each other. We call it as congruency of angles. So now students, we know what is congruency of line segments and what is the congruency of angles. Now we will switch on the congruency of triangles. Congruency of triangles. Two triangles are congruent if and only if one of them can be made superpose on the other so as it to cover it exactly. It means if we want to prove that the two triangles are congruent, it is only possible in the one situation when these two triangles are superimposed to each other, or in another, if we want to say in another way, it means they have to cover each other exactly. They have to cover each other exactly. Now try to understand what is congruency of triangle. I will explain it more. If we have two triangle ABC and triangle DEF, if we want to congruent these two triangles, so we have so many methods or so many elements to prove that they are congruent. Now first of all, if I want to congruent them, then if I put this triangle ABC on triangle DEF, then this vertex A is placed here and B should be here and C should be here. If all these three vertex A, B, C is exactly cover the vertex D, E, F, then it means they are superposed on each other and they are cover exactly to each other. It means they are congruent to each other. It is about vertex. We have 6 equality in these two triangles. So what they are? If AB, side AB of triangle, second triangle DE, because we have a triangle ABC here, we have a triangle DEF here. So if we have triangle ABC and DEF, so the first side of this triangle is AB and second side of this triangle is DE. So AB should be equal to DE for the congruency. Second side is BC and here we have EF. So the BC is equal to the EF. Third side is AC and here we have DF. So AC should be equal to DF. Now what I want to teach you? I want to teach you that we only take corresponding parts of these two triangles. Corresponding part means first side of first triangle, so the first side of the second side. We will not take AB with any another side. If name is ABC and DEF, so first side is AB and here first side is DE. We will take AB with DE only. If we will change this name, if we will take a name EFD, then the first side of this triangle is AB and here we have EF. So it is depend on triangle's name, what they are given, what we are going to prove. So we will only take corresponding parts of triangle. So in this triangle, AB is corresponding to DE, AC is corresponding to DF, BC is corresponding to EF. So we have to put equal to each other. Similarly, corresponding angles, angle A should be equal to angle D. B we will take with angle E and C we will take with angle F. So these are the corresponding parts. We have 6 elements, 3 sides and 3 angles for the both triangle. These are the 6 equalities. For congruency of a triangle, we only need 3 elements. Any 3 elements on the basis of criteria of congruency, which we will learn later. So now students, I only want to teach then the congruency of triangle is only depend that if two triangles cover each other exactly and their corresponding parts, whatever their sides and their angles, they are equal to each other. So they are congruent. And you will learn about this with the help of questions also. So once again, the definition of congruency of triangles. Two triangles are congruent if and only if there exists a correspondence between their vertex and their corresponding sides and their corresponding angles of two triangles are equal or congruent. So now hope you understand this topic. First criteria of congruency is SAS congruence rule, which we call as axiom 7.1. I already explained to you in your previous chapter that axioms are those statements which are universal truth and they do not have any proof and we can't prove them. So our mathematician, for starting the congruency of triangle, they took SAS congruency rule as an axiom. What is SAS congruence rule? Two triangles are congruent if and only if two sides and the included angle. Please put your concentration on this word, included angle. It means if we will take any two sides, we have to choose a included angle between these two sides, not any another angle. So the triangles are congruent if two sides and the included angle of one triangle are equal to the sides and the included angle of the other triangle. It means, I will explain with the help of diagram. Two triangles are congruent if two sides, first if I will take AB is equal to DE, BC is equal to EF. So I always take this angle B and angle E, because this angle is present in between these two triangles. So two triangles are congruent if two sides of one triangle with the included angle is equal to the corresponding parts, yeah, two sides and the included angle of the other triangle. So we call it as SAS congruence rule. Two triangles are congruent if two sides and the included angle of one triangle are equal to the two sides and the included angle of the other triangle. You have to learn this statement as well. So students, this is our exam and we do not have any proof for them. So now we will switch on our first theorem, theorem 7.1. Theorem 7.1 is then another criteria for congruency, which is ASA. Now it is very clear with this name. It means we have to take two angles and the included side. So ASA congruence rule, and the statement of the theorem 7.1 is two triangles are congruent if two angles and the included side of one triangle are equal to two angles and the included side of the other triangle. So students, try to understand, this is our theorem. We have to prove it. We have to show this result that it is true. So what is the theorem? They said two triangles are congruent if two angles and the included side of the triangle are equal to the two angle and the included side of the other triangle. So what is given in this diagram? In this diagram, with the help of these two triangles ABC and DEF, two angles, angle B is equal to angle E, angle C is equal to angle F, corresponding parts, remember, and BC is equal to EF, BC is equal to EF. This is the side present between two angles. So one more thing, when we are going to prove that two triangles are congruent, and we prove it, two triangles are congruent with the help of three equalities. In earlier I explained to you that we have 6 equalities, but for proving of a congruency we need only 3 equalities. If we will prove that these two triangles are congruent, so the remaining 3 equalities we will take as already equal to each other. Why? Because we will give our reason as CPCT. Now what is CPCT? CPCT is the corresponding parts of congruent triangle. What is CPCT? So what is CPCT? Corresponding parts of congruent triangles. If two triangles are congruent, so the remaining 3 element is already they are already equal to each other. We do not need any proof for them. So now we are going to prove that these two triangles are congruent. These 3 elements are given and we have to prove that this. So students, now you are thinking that already 3, ma'am said we need 3 elements, already 3 elements is given, are given, then what we have to prove? Students, these 3 elements are already given, but we can't use them all these 3 directly. We try to prove this theorem with any another method. So in this chapter we only know one method, axiom 7.1, SAS congruence rule. So we will follow that rule only in this theorem. When we will go with the theorem 7.2, then we have to congruence rule SAS and this theorem 7.1 ASA. So this is your first theorem. In this theorem we will divide this theorem in the 3 parts. Case 1, let AB and DE are equal to each other. Case 2, if AB is greater than DE. Case 3, if AB is less than DE. Because we want to prove it, we have to check each and every thing in this question. We do not want to lose any part. So case first, let AB and DE are equal to each other. If these two sides are equal to each other, so in these two triangles, in case 1, in triangle AB and DE, first part, I explained to you, we need only 3 elements. AB and DE, reason assumed. Angle B and angle E are equal, given. BC, EF are also given. So that by SAS rule, we have both triangles are congruent. You have to write like this only. SAS, because we take these two sides and the included angle only. If you have any doubt, then let me check from your diagram. In this diagram, AB, DE, BC, EF and angle B and angle E. We took these 3 elements. So SAS. We always check our rule from one triangle. We took this, this and this. So SAS. So definitely we are going correctly. By SAS rule, both triangles are congruent. Case second, let AB is greater than DE. In case first, they both are equal. Now I am taking as AB greater than. So what we will do? We can take P on AB such that, because it is greater than this, so we make these two sides are equal to each other. So we will take P on AB such that PB and DE are equal to each other. So we will take these two triangles, this small triangle PBC and this triangle DEF. In these two triangles, PB is equal to DE by construction. Angle B, angle E are equal, given. BC is equal EF, it is already given. So that by SAS rule, definitely SAS rule, PB, DE, angle B, angle E, BC or EF. By SAS rule, we have PB triangle PBC congruent to triangle DEF. If these two triangles are equal, then I already told you about that the remaining parts of these two triangles which are already congruent, remaining part are equal, already automatically equal to each other by the corresponding parts of corresponding triangle. CPCT means corresponding parts of corresponding triangle. So these two triangles are congruent now. So the remaining part, rest of these 3, all parts are already equal to each other. So definitely this angle 1 is equal to angle F, because these two triangles are congruent. So 1 is equal to F. In these two triangles, 1 is equal to F by CPCT, because these two triangles are congruent. But angle C is equal to angle F. It is already given. 1 is equal to F by corresponding parts of corresponding triangle. F is equal to C. It is given from the first and second equation. It is proved that definitely 1 and C are equal to each other. Now what is this? 1 and C are equal to each other. So we will check from our diagram. Angle 1 and angle C are equal to each other. It is only possible when this vertex P lie or coincide with vertex A, or we can say on another method that the line segment PC coincide with the line segment AC. They are not two different lines, they are not two different vertex, they are only one. It is only possible when. So we will write like this. It is only possible when P is coincide with the A, PBA is equals to ED. So now these two complete triangles AB and DEF are congruent to each other. Now in first case as well in the second case, we prove that triangle ABC is congruent to DEF. Now our third case. Third case is let AB is less than DE. We can now AB is less than and DE is greater. So we will mark a point on DE. We will take a point M on DE such that EM is equal to AB. This side is equal to AB. This triangle ABC and MEF. We will take these 3 points. ME is equals to AB by construction. Angle B, angle E given. BC, EF given. By SAS rule, we have these two triangles are congruent. Similarly, by the corresponding parts, because these two triangles are equal, angle 2 and angle C are equal to each other, but angle F and angle C are equal to each other, it is given. So it is only possible when this vertex M is coincide with this vertex D. These two line segments are not different to each other, they are one single line. It is only possible when M is coincide with the D. ME is equals to ED, AB is equals to DE. Hence, triangle ABC is congruent to DEF. So, in this theorem, we proved all three parts. We used two parts from the given. We took one part with us, that AB is equals to DE. Then we convert this thing into the three parts, because we don't know about these two sides. So we take three segments that AB and D are equal. AB and D are greater than or less than to each other. But at the end of the result, in three parts, we proved triangle ABC and DEF are equal to each other. Sorry, congruent to each other. So students, in today's lecture, we discussed about the introduction part, congruency of triangles, two criteria of triangles SAS and ASA with the help of Axiom 7.1 and Theorem 7.1. So now your homework is, so today's homework is do and learn Theorem 7.1 and learn definitions of chapter number 7. Today you have to revise this complete lecture from your NCERT and learn all necessary things and do this theorem positively and honestly. If you have any doubt, then please mention in your comment section.